Hi, you are welcome to Rosie Math class today. This is your Rosie. Our today's discussion will be on transformation, okay? Transformation, we'll be looking at rotation, we'll look at translation, we'll look at reflection, and we'll look at enlargement, okay? So we'll look at rotation, translation, reflection, and enlargement. Okay, let's look at definitions. Okay, here transformation is change in size or position of a figure. Change in size or position of a figure. And when we do rotation, rotation is transformation in which a figure is turned about a point. It can be 90 degrees, which is one quadrant turn, and that is what we're going to be doing here. We'll look at 90 degrees and 180 degrees. Okay, so a 180 degrees is two quadrants turn. Okay, so we also have translation. Translation is movement of a figure along a straight line. Movement of a figure along a straight line. And then we look at reflection. Okay, reflection is transformation in which a figure flips across a line. Okay, and then we have enlargement, which can be increasing or decreasing in size of a figure. It depends on your scale factor. So let's start. Okay, we start with rotation. Rotation, we have angle of our rotation here is 90 degrees, and we'll be looking at clockwise and counterclockwise. So CW here is clockwise and CCW is counterclockwise. Okay, so let me explain how you do the rotation. Okay, starting with clockwise, you can see my diagrams here. So I have two diagrams here now, and this is the object and here is the image. Okay, so let's take the vertices of this triangle. So for A, the coordinates are 1 and 1, x is 1, y is 1. For B, x is 2, y is 2. Sorry, y is 3. For B, x is 2, y is 3. For C, x is 4, y is 1. So you can see where it's written here: A 1 1, B 2 3, C 4 1. So x y x y x y. So this is how you do your rotation. Okay, on 90 degrees. Rotation of 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, so what you do here is you turn this one quadrant turn. Okay, one quadrant turn. So if you do that, you will now see that your C will now be here. This is my C prime now, and then you have your A prime here, and then you have your B prime here. So mathematically, what you are going to do is, if you turning this S coordinate to Y and Y coordinate to S. So what do I mean? Now let me start with A. In my A now, I have 1 1. My A prime now, I'll have 1 minus 1. Okay, 1 minus 1 is, because this is 1 1, you may not get it here, but when we get to B, you will understand better. So it is X now becomes Y, Y becomes X. Okay, and then you take the negative of Y. So that is why we are having minus 1. Now let me go to B. B is 2, S is 2, Y is 3. Okay, now I will take this now to replace this in the prime, and then I'll have this negate. That is what we did here. So B prime, we have 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2. This 3 now becomes the X here, and then this 2 here becomes the Y here, but it's negative. Okay, so for C now, it's going to be this 1 here will now be the X here, that's the Y here, which is 1, becomes X here, and then the X here, which is 4, will be negated, and then we have minus 4. So that is how you do it, and then you plot, you will see your figure in the right order. Okay, that is for 90 degrees clockwise. Now let's go to 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay, let me show you my image, but before that, let me tell you what to do. it is the same thing I did here, but the difference now is that I will take the negative of the x coordinate, the x coordinates. Okay, I'll take the negative of the x coordinate. So for this now I will have a minus 1 1. Now this one, the 3 that is y will now become x, but now is negative, and then I'll have my x as y here, which is now 2. Then this place now I'll have this 1, which is y coordinates, to become minus 1. I'll take the negative, and then I'll have the x, which is 4, to become a y here. You can see it. So let me show how the image will look like. So this is it. So it is counterclockwise. That means you go 1 quadrant turn this way. So this will turn. You can see my C prime here, my A prime here, and my B prime here. So try it, draw your own figure and try it. You will see, you will get the right answer if we do exactly what I did here. Thank you. Okay, we are looking at rotation, and our angle of rotation here is 180 degrees. Okay, 180 degrees has no clockwise or anti-clockwise rotation. Okay, it's just 180, and it is 2 quadrants turn. Is that clear? 2 quadrants turn. So whether you go clockwise like this, you end up here. You go anti-clockwise, you still end up here. So clockwise or anti-clockwise is in the same position. So no clockwise or anti-clockwise when it comes to 180 degrees. All right, now let's do this together. So I have my vertices here, P, Q, R, S for the original image, which is a quadrilateral. So let's see, for P, I have my coordinates minus 4 and 1. And for R, I have my coordinates minus 3 and 3. For R, I have my coordinates minus 2 and 3. For S, I have my coordinate minus 1 and 1. So let's see it. I have it written out here. All right. So this is it, P minus 1, 1, Q minus 3, 3, R minus 2, 3, S minus 1, 1. So how do we take the rotation by 180 degrees? You can see my image here. So this is the image, and this is what you should do. You multiply both the x and y coordinates by minus 1. So you negate both x and y. You negate both x and y, and this is what you have. You have this. Okay, so if I negate my p, I will have p prime to be 4 minus 1. If I negate my q, I'll have 3 minus 3. If I negate my r, I'll have 2 minus 3. And if I negate my s, I will have 1 minus 1. And this is the image of this rotation. Okay, so try it out and you will see, you will get the same result. So this is rotation of angle 180 degrees. Thank you. Okay, here we have translation, and I have my images. Okay, so this is what we are going to do now. I want you to pay attention here, please. We are using vector minus 4 and 5, and here is my object. Okay, I have a polygon A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so let's get the coordinate of these vertices here. So for A, I have 1 minus 2. You can see it here. For B, I have 1 minus 4. You can see it here. For C, I have 3 minus 4. You can see it here. For D, I have 3 minus 3. Here it is. And for E, I have 2 minus 3. And for F, I have 2 minus 2. Okay? Now, using vector minus 4 and 5 means we are going to subtract 4 from x coordinate, and then add 5 to y coordinates. Okay, so each we subtract 4 from x coordinates and then add 5 to y coordinate. So for A, we take 4 from this and we have minus 3. Add 5 here, we have 3. Take 4 away from here, we have minus 3. Add 5 here, we have 1. Take 4 away from here, we have minus 1. Add 5, we have 1. Take 4 away, we have minus 1. Add 5, we have 2. Take 4 from this, we have minus 2. Add 5, we have 2. Take 4 here, we have minus 2. Add 5 here, we have 3. This becomes your image. Okay, these A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, E prime, F prime will form the transformation of this polygon A, B, C, D, E, F. And this is where I have it. Okay, so try it out. Remember I said you will subtract 4 from the x coordinate and add 5 to the y coordinate. So the translation of this vector now is this vector up here. So this, polygon up here. Okay, so this is the object and here we have the image. Okay, so try it. You can use another vector and do your own. You can change it to maybe -1 and 2 or 1 and -2 and see what your image will look like. Thank you. Okay, here I'm looking at reflection over x-axis. Okay, so let's look at it together. So here are my diagrams, my images. Okay, so which of them? Okay, let me start with triangle. Okay, this is triangle PQR, and we are going to take the reflection of this over this x-axis. Okay, so what is the reflection of this PQR over this x-axis? So the points P, the coordinates are 2 and 1. You can see it here. And Q is 2 and 3, and R is 3 and 1. Okay, what we do here on this reflection is to negate the y's. Okay, we just negate the y's, that's all. Okay, we take the negative of the y's. Okay, multiplying this by -1, -1, -1, and you have your reflection over the x-axis. Okay, over the x-axis. So this is it now. You can see it. The image is the black. You can see it. So this is the reflection of this. So how to do it is just negate your y's. Multiply your y's by -1 and the x remains the same. 2 minus 1, 2 minus 3, 3 minus 1, and you have your reflection over the x-axis. So if we do the same here, so you can see here now, here we have a polygon, and this polygon is how many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6-sided polygon. Okay, so hexagon. So this hexagon, if we take reflection of it over the x-axis, this will now be, this is -4. Okay, -4, 3. It will now be -4 minus 3. You can see it, -4 minus 3. Okay, and this B, which is -4, 1, will now be -4 minus 1. And C, which is -1, 1, will now be -1 minus 1. And D, which is -1, 2, will now be -1 minus 2. And that is, you take the negative of the y's. Okay, E is -3 and 2, will now be -3 and -2. And F, which is -3 and -3 and 3, that is F, will now be -3 and 3. So you take the negative of the y's. Why the x remains the same? Okay, the x remains the same and y is negated. Okay. Okay, we are looking at reflection over y-axis. Okay, so when we do reflection over y, so what will happen is this image here will be reflected on the side. Okay, so this is my object and here is its image. Okay, this is the object and here is the image. So on this side now, I will take the negative of the x instead of the x. Yes, I'll take the negative of the x, not y this time, the negative of x. So my a now, the coordinates are -2 and 3. You can see it's -2 and 3. B is -2 and 1. C is -1 and 1. Now if I negate the x1, I'll have to multiply by -1 and I'll have 2, 3. Remember, y remains the same. So here I will negate this and I'll have 2, 1. So C prime will now be 1, 1. Okay, and this is the image of this object. So if I reflect on y-axis, I had to negate the x coordinates. Okay, so do the same here and drop your answer for me. So let me give you a hint. Here is A, and my A is -3 and -1. -3 and -1. So here is what I have. Okay, here now I'll have 3 and -1, 3 and -1, 3 and -1. That is, I'm no longer having x to be negative. My x now is what? Positive. Okay, now on B side I have -2 and -1. Now instead of having -2, now I'm going to be having 2 -1, 2 -1. Now for C, I'm having -1 and -3. I will now have 1 and -3. Okay, for D, I'm having -4 and -3. I will now have D prime as 4 and -3. So you negate your x coordinate, you negate your x coordinate, and since they are negative, they will now become positive. Okay, so try it out and see your results. Okay, try it again and again and again. If you have any problem, you can just drop a comment on the comment box below. All right, we are looking at enlargement now, and I have this triangle ABC to enlarge, and the scale factor is 2, and our center of enlargement is here, this point here where the coordinates, we have x to be -3 and our y is 2. So our center x is -3 and our y is 2. So what we do is you join the vertices to this point. Okay, join point A to this center and point B to the center and point C to the center. Now this will help us to know how many squares, okay, from the center to the points of these objects. Okay, so for A we have 1 square unit, 1 square unit. You can see it, 1 square unit, and our A is 1 square unit above the center and 1 square unit by the center, that is on the horizon. So that means if we multiply it by 2, we are going to have 2 square units. Okay, so we'll have 1, 2 above, because it's above, our A is above the center, so we'll move 1, 2 above and then 1, 2 by the side. So this is where we will have our A prime. So you can see I marked it. So we have 1, 2. Remember, if we move, we get 1 for A. So we multiply by 2, we now have 1, 2, and for the side it is just 1 also. So we multiply by 2, so we'll move up by 2 units, and then we'll move also sideways by 2. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is where we have our A prime. Okay, now for B we have also 1 square unit, down the center. So if I multiply by 2, our scale factor 2, I will move 2 down and then 2 by the side. So I have 1 2 1 2 1 2 down and then 1 2 by the side. Remember, it's down. B is down the center by 1 unit. So I will move 1 2 by because I multiply by 2. So I have 1 2 and then the side will also be 1 2. So this is where I'll have my B prime. Okay, now for C, I have for the side I have 2 units, and then for the vertical I have 1 unit. So that means I'm going to multiply the vertical by 2, which is 1 unit. If I multiply by 2, I will move twice. Okay, that is 1 2. Okay, for the side I have 2 units. If I multiply, I'll have 4. So from here I will have 1 2 3 4. So this is where I will have my C prime. Okay, let me join the points now. So I have the points joined. So this is my image. Okay, this is my enlargement. So this is my A prime, this is my B prime, and this is my C prime. Okay, this is my A prime, this is my B prime, and this is my C prime. So we have enlargement, and this increased in size because the scale factor is positive. Okay, so we have increase in size here. So this is A B C D increased by scale factor 2. We have this triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay, you can reduce and see what your triangle will be like. So this is how you do your enlargements.